I guess from your vantage point, and we could hear you right next to us, but how this kind of play out from your vantage?
Great. I mean, Notre Dame, we know, is always a quality side. A team that's going to be, team will be deep in the tournament as they have been. So these games, it feels as close to a fall game. We get a lot of respect for their program. I think it's a lot of mutual respect. We both go at it, but it's a lot of good, honest play. There's nothing too over the top, which is really neat. So, yeah, I thought they had waves tonight. We had waves. I thought it was kind of what you want. You want a team to kind of have a little adversity for a little bit, see how they fight through, when we problem solve. They got some individuals that are really, really dangerous, presenting some challenge for us with their size. They're fantastic on restarts, and they're a team that rarely hurts themselves. So they don't give you much. I felt like if our passing in transition was a bit cleaner, I would have really liked maybe 3 or 4 more quality chances in the day. But overall, there was a lot of good takeaways.
With the way you've rotated the squad, throughout the spring, were you trying to look at this game as a little more of like a real game? It didn't seem like you were rotating quite as much.
Yes. I mean, we definitely experimented a little bit with like a Herb Endelay playing a wing back. That was definitely a new spot for him, but it was just a way to get him on the field if we feel like we need another attacker or the space is good for him. That would have been a really hard experiment in the fall in a 0-0 game. I don't know if I would have done that, but this was a great opportunity to kind of see it and use some video moments and talk through Herb. And sometimes you just got to look at it and say it kind of felt right. We're obviously experimenting a little bit with our shape, still tinkering with that. I thought we did some good things with that today. And yeah, we played Ryan Wittenbrink a lot at wingback, which is a new position for him. Like to keep him close to goal, but we have some other guys that's harder to take off those roles. So that's where the experimentation was today.
And then Mihalik's goal, that was quite impressive right in front of us, the way he took out 3 defenders to avoid a draw. Can you talk about that?
Tommy had a good game in general, and he's been up and down this spring, and we've been tough on Tommy. Like he has high standards, we do, and this was exactly what he needed. He played well today. I thought his work rate was good. I thought he was pretty clean. He's always dangerous in his 1v1 moments, but I thought his spacing and his thoughts were better, and that's what he can do. And that's what you want a player. You want him to feel excited and know that those are moments you can take players on, and he can do some things other guys can't. So I was really, really, really happy for Tommy, and the team was excited. It's a good win to finish.
And then I wanted to ask you something that has nothing to do with this match, but was a big news in college soccer with the elimination of overtime most likely next season. You would have, instead of 15-6 last year, you would have been 12-5-5, I think it was. I did the math. You wouldn't have had that Notre Dame win, but you also wouldn't have had the Michigan loss. So I know your colleague Van Bennekom really wanted to go to the FIFA rules and not have overtime. What are your thoughts on the whole situation?
Erwin and I are different pages in this one. I just feel like the more soccer you play, we like to feel we're the better team on most days. So, that gives you another 20 minutes to find a win. And obviously it evens out sometimes, but I was disappointed, but I was in the minority. Most of the Division I coaches were in favor of it. We also have a lot of talent on our team, so I'm able to go a little deeper than other teams. So it's always, the eye in the beholder, right? But I just feel I don't so know if it's become more defensive with teams sitting back a little bit earlier in games, knowing that they don't have to defend another 20 minutes in overtime potentially. That's my concern, that could affect the game a bit. We'll wait and see how it plays out. I love the rule change with overtime in the tournament.
With the golden goal, I was about to ask you that.
Yeah, it's just these are the biggest games of the year, and you have teams that are so tight, and you should play those 20 minutes. And I'd say that even if we're the ones scoring the first 2, you got to find a way to win that. There'd be less penalties, which I think is a good thing too. I just feel like it's a really good change. And second, it's such a hard way to have your career finish. And unfortunately, we've been 3 or 5. We've had that feeling. So. Yeah, I thought that was all good changes, except, again, I disagree a little bit with the regulation.
But with that, do you think it'll make players more willing to come to college soccer because you have more bypassing because the rules are a little bit different? Do you think the fact that the timing rules are a little closer to, FIFA and the rest of the world will make people want to come?
I don't think the players are that keen on that particular rule, but, I mean, I think people are doing it because they were excited because they feel like it's just too much in 1 week. Playing every 3.5 days, so that was the reason.
I guess when you talk about I guess expecting or thinking that teams could adjust and play a little more defensively, is that something you think is going to take effect right away, or are you going to kind of need a month or so to see how teams adjust?
I don't know. I mean, you'll have teams that will manage the goal kicks in the first 10 minutes of the game and take another 10, 15, and you're just like, whoa, this is going to be a long day, and that's another 20 minutes that you're not going to have to play. So I adamantly felt that it was not the best interest, but obviously we need to be, referees' decisions with the penalty kick change, I think will maybe help with review, because penalties change games, as we know. And you just have to maybe be on run restarts. I mean, it comes down to still moments in the game where you need to be more precise and clinical in moments that you get, knowing that you have less time.
That's all I got.
Okay.